Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Broads. I know we're all eagled up and we're bleeding green, but we can't forget about those Phillies pinstripes as they handle business against the Nationals, and they sweep their asses. Now, the last game of the series was weird as hell. You have the rain delay. You basically wasted Aaron Nola start because he could only go a couple innings. The rain delay lasted what felt like 3 days long, but when they lose the lead, they kept responding. First off, Bryce Harper, who had a day off earlier in the series, which we will get to, which I thought he desperately needed. And oh, by the way, hallelujah, he was no longer batting cleanup. Get him back in the comfort zone. Get him back batting third, please. And he had a homer in this series, but he gives you that double, an RBI double, to give you a 1-0 early lead. This is after Aaron Nola had to work through a bit of a jam in the first inning, so good thing for him to, maneuver through that, not allow a run. Here comes the Phillies responding nice and early to give them a lead. I think there is a sense of confidence when that happens, even though they are confident with this national squad. They do have their number, and they do expose them a lot of the times, and that's why their record is what they have this year is because they're beating up on the bad teams as brutally as they are. But Bryce Harper gives you that early lead, but Rhys Hoskins and Alec Boehm answer the bell. Because let's be honest, if you were paying attention to the Phillies, which not everybody was because it's the first day of NFL football, but if you were paying attention, there was probably a time where you thought, all right, you're going to chalk it up to one of those games. The guys have to chill in the clubhouse for a while. Alec Boehm afterwards tells us they were chilling watching some football themselves. It's like, okay, how do you stay engaged? Now, half of me goes, this is your job. This is what you're signed up to do. So if there ever is a weird experience, the other team's going through the same thing. Why are you getting a free pass? Stay prepared, stay engaged, and win the damn baseball game. The other half of me says, well, come on. You know this type of stuff happens. They already won the series and took 2. So you win another series, you keep moving along. Name of the game, take 2 or 3. Who's up next? That's right. We're going to Miami to face them again. So I'm kind of split in that regard. But realistically, that doesn't matter because Rhys Hoskins and Alec Boehm hit some big-time bombs to win the baseball game, to complete the sweep. So I just love the response from there. And it feels a lot different, doesn't it? With Sir Anthony Dominguez back, it doesn't feel as, Connor Brogdon-like. Because let's be honest, the second game of the series, it gets to the 9th inning, and you go, here we go again. When Sir Anthony is slotted back and reactivated, even going to David Robertson feels different. Going to Jose Alvarado feels different. One body means the world right now when you know how toxic it's been. And it sucks because it's difficult when Aaron Nola was wasted. You have to go to a Christopher Sanchez. And let's be honest, there's been a lot of recent times where the guy couldn't even find the damn strike zone. Now, he did finish with, what was his finishing stat line? I'll pull that up for you in just one moment. I'm not sure exactly what he finished with all around. Let's see, big 7-5 victory for the Fightins. That's beautiful to see. Anything Bryce Harper related is beautiful to see. Here's the headline. Bryce Harper smacks an RBI double to center. Bryce Harper posted an Instagram of him photoshopped, dressed in an Eagles baseball jersey and batting helmet with the caption, "Go Birds." Thank you very much for that, ESPN. I think that really tells me a lot about what happened in this baseball game. Now, let's forget about a 3.5-hour rain delay. Let's just talk about his Instagram story. That is the world we live in. Sanchez, 3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 7 hits allowed, 1 walk. Right? I mean, Nick Nelson, 2 hits in his 1 inning of work, 1 earned run, 1 walked batter. So there was an uneasy feeling, no doubt. But JT gets you 2 hits. Boehm had 2 RBI. Rhys Hoskins had 2 hits. He had 4 RBI. So he also, yeah, that's right. He had the sack fly as well. That was in the 6th inning. That was to tie the game up 5-5 before the Phillies took the lead 7-5. If anybody watched this game. I mean, I really don't know how many did, but come on. I even tweeted this out on my Twitter, which, shameless plug here, you can go follow at Broads81. We have a lot of fun there. But I had the man cave all going. Eagles football on the big 70-plus inch. Then off to the side, I had the nice red zone action on the 42, and then the Phillies on the other 40-inch. And that's how we kick back. I ended up watching one of those NBC Sports rain delay things that go on forever and ever and ever. They timed it out perfectly, though, huh? With the end of the Eagles game to start off. It was bizarre, no doubt about it. Game 2 was bizarre. You had Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Nick Maton, Marsh. These guys are going yard. And all throughout this series, that fence over in right field took away some even more power from this team. But how about that? The electricity with the bats. You have Sosa beating out a play at first base by sliding head first. We had a Sosa show again. He also flirted around with a triple earlier in game 1 of the series. I mean, this guy was absolutely doing everything. Spark plug. That's what it is, spark plug. It's funny, though, how it seems over the years there's always someone. Whether it's Phil Gosselin, whether it's Ronald Torreyes, who else was there? Brad Miller. Remember that game out in Chicago for Brad Miller? There was a time where we were looking at Brad Miller as a legitimate cleanup option with that bat, and I'm going, oh, my God, that makes me sick to even think about. With all due respect to Brad Miller, I think he has a role. But the way that the Phillies were so desperate in the past, you had to demand it more and demand it too much for our liking. But there's always somebody. And you think about, too, with Dave Dombrowski's move, with arbitration, and how many years that he could be in control. Now, look, I don't know how much you're going to get of this Sosa. Okay, it's not as if I think this is what he's going to be if he's always playing. So if I think of about a long-term couple-of-year window of Sosa, how much could he be this player? I don't know, right? And if I'm a betting man, I'll probably say it won't be this more times than it is this. I'm just playing my odds here on what type of player Sosa is. But if it could be flirted in throughout here and there, I guess that's all you can ask for out of a bench player, out of a utility guy. Is when your number's called, give us something. And he's even over-exceeding at this point. But that head first slide to first base, you could even see the people at Citizens Bank Park loving it to a wild level. And by the way, the people that actually stayed at CBP there were people in the stands afterwards. God bless you. God bless you. I know they played the Eagles game on the video board, on the scoreboard when the rain delay was going down, and also you can watch the game and whatnot. But for you to resume play and for people to still be in the stands, God bless you. God bless. God bless you. Ranger Suarez. Ranger Suarez leaked oil in the 7th when he had his start. The 7th inning, there was a walk, there was a double, there was a single. It was better than what we had been seeing. It's better than leaking oil in the 4th. There is a fatigue factor with him, though. Philly still won the baseball game. Enough home runs in the bats. Man, that home run by Kyle Schwarber was obliterated. I mean, it's fair to say he got a hold of that one. All right? I mean, it's outrageous when he barrels one up and takes it to center field that way. My jaw drops. I mean, come on. And the way that he does it with the arrogance, too. I mean, come on. The veteran gets one and he stares it down and just knows, and he just stands there for a second admiring it. The dude crushed it. He crushed it. And he hasn't been playing his best ball lately. So, I mean, I'm just hoping that this is somewhat of a wake-up, a little smack in the face. All right, here we go. Let's grab some momentum here, Kyle. Because let's be honest, throughout the Phillies world, we were wondering, is it time to maybe try something new at the leadoff position? Is it time to put Stott in there? Ironically enough, Stott goes to the cleanup. Now, that's just something where I think Rob is looking for a bit of a spark. You throw yourself you throw yourself Bryce Harper back into the lineup. And he was bad in cleanup, but I like JT in the cleanup right now as he's playing such a great way. Playing a great style right now. I do have to tamper down the JT thing just a tad. And what I mean by that is, and there's a fly flying around in here. I don't know if you're catching it on camera once in a blue moon, but it is absolutely distracting me. Rob Thompson stated that JT should be in MVP conversations. I was listening to some sports talk radio over the weekend and was hearing they say, oh, you can make the argument. No. Like, an MVP isn't about doing something for... He sucked for a long period of time. Someone like Paul Goldschmidt is where I think the NL MVP should be targeted, in that range, right? Don't even get me started on what's happening out in the American League between Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. But I'm not going to just say, whoa, he's been hot for about a month and a half, or he's given us a nice run after the All-Star break, after the Toronto series. He's been amazing. Yeah, that's great, but I can't forget on how much he sucked. Like, he's been awesome, and he might be the MVP of this stretch for the fighting Phillies. If we're looking at the entire season and the most valuable player of the entire year, I love what he's doing defensively. I love what he's doing throwing out runners. People are stupid for constantly running on him. I don't know why they try and take their chance. All of that is real, and I'm telling you that I'm in love with this play that JT has provided for us. But I can't go over the line by any means. So I wanted to look at the September 10th lineup for the Phils. And this was the game where, I normally have this stuff up a little bit more in advance, and I kind of just jumped into things here. It's weird. Because we know where everybody's mind is at today. So you go Bryson Stott in the cleanup. He went 0 for 3. The reason why that happens, though, is because, with Garrett Stubbs, he had himself a slot into the lineup with JT Realmuto having an off day. And I don't know, does that change maybe the way, did they want to have Bryce Harper in the cleanup spot because with JT, he's someone who is in and out of the lineup because of the nature of the position. So you want to try and keep your top four somewhat intact and in tune where you're not changing it as much. And if you're consistently changing your cleanup hitter, is that something that Rob Thompson wants to stay away from? I'm just spitballing, honestly. This isn't anything that is life or death here within a team or, it's major groundbreaking by any means. I'm just wondering and asking questions on why it did look a certain way, knowing that Bryce Harper probably should have been back into what he normally does. And I don't know why you would put him in the cleanup spot. I don't know. I'm looking for answers and kind of talking through it, but yeah, Kyle Schwarber and Rhys Hoskins went 0 for 5 in that 8-5 win on Saturday night at the 6 o'clock start, which was another bizarre thing too. I was thinking for maybe a little afternoon game on the weekend, but it is what it is. And, really from there, Thor gave you 6 innings pitched and 3 earned runs, so there was a quality start engaged. I guess for me, though, it's as soon as the Phillies did something well, he gave up the lead or the other team cut into the lead. For example, if you had Sosa and Reese and Bohm and JT, all right, the Phillies are up a couple runs. Not so much. Maybe it's a 1-run ball game. JT hits a home run. Okay. Thor allows a home run. It's a 1-run ball game. 4-3. So you get a bit of separation. You add on another run. You get a bit of insurance. No, you didn't. Because he gave it right back up. At the end of the day, will I take 6 innings, 3 earned runs from Thor? Of course I would. Of course I would. For a 5th starter in my rotation, for a late rotation guy to give me a quality start against a bad opponent. From there, ask my offense to help me out. And they did. Well, then, yeah, I'm taking it. It's not that it was lovely, though. Hand in the 9th. You look at Nick Nelson coming into the game in the 9th. But I talked about role players, right, with Sosa. And sometimes it's about, here's an opportunity for me to do something and to make a little bit of noise. Guthrie knocking in some runs. Hey, that does show a sign of a good team. Where there's a lot of times you say, well, they don't have much depth. And trust me, I'm not relying on these guys to, go win me a World Series by any means. But within range of what I think this team can do, I think it's important to have some of those players. Well, look, some nights You might need a Guthrie. Nick Castellanos is still sidelined. Who's playing right field? You got the whole DH thing going on with Bryce Harper. And I give Rob Thompson credit because I think it's easy to fall in line with let Bryce Harper work out of this. And we've seen a lot of managers and a lot of organizations stick with some things because they're staying with their gut and they're trying to be, a little bit like, hey, I know what we're doing here. We know what we're doing here. Trust us. It's going to be fine. Like sometimes they get too emotionally attached to their vision and they keep banging their head against the wall over and over again. There is more leash with the Bryce Harper compared to other players in this league, but that's an easy cop-out. It is. It's an easy cop-out. Say, well, look, it's Bryce. We're just going to keep attacking with him. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Even though he's striking out at an epic pace and he's striking out double-digit times in a stretch. It's like, whoa, dude. He's finishing with 3 Ks consistently in outings, back-to-back. It's like, yo, dude, striking out all that much. It's easy to say keep working through it. So for Rob to say, yo, dude, just relax. Relax a day. And what do you know? Home run, double, RBI. And then, of course, the Kyle Schwarber effect, too. I live for Kyle Schwarber quotes, if you haven't noticed. There's something for me about listening to Kyle Schwarber, and it could be cliche. And if somebody else said the same quote, I might not view it the same. But I keep going back to Dave Dombrowski. Come on. He paid the big ticket, gave the big contract over. He knew exactly what Kyle Schwarber was going to do off the field. It's like, oh, I'm not worried about Come on, Bryce. There's an intimidation factor when there's a pitcher on the mound. Oh, what's that? Bryce went long? I knew he'd be all right. But that's the type of stuff that he says, and it matters. It matters. Someone else says it. Maybe it's like, like if Rob said it, if it was a different manager, if Joe Girardi said it, well, they're probably not wrong. There's a different tone when it's Schwarbs. That's why I think this team is going to stay intact, and that's why I think this team is, where they're at right now. Because of guys like him. All right, we'll take one call here. Maybe I'm looking through. I gotta look through some of the timeline here because there's a lot of anytime hotline calls in regards to the Eagles-Lions game. There were a bunch of calls for the Phillies throughout the weekend in the total grand scheme of things here. So I'll just pop one up, and here we go, the anytime hotline. Oh, hold on a second. It's not going through my headset. Don't know if you heard that or not, but it's all right. We're adjusting on the fly. Told you, it's a weird morning for me. Here we go.
What's up, bros? I'm in Philly right now, so if you hear any noises, I apologize. But good win, another series win, I think it is. But let me talk about Rangers Suarez for a bit. It's baby steps. That start was baby steps because let me tell you, 6 2/3 4-run runs is so much significantly different than 4 innings 4-run runs. It's just so much different, and I love it. I like that he's working harder. I think next step is to try and get those pitches executed better, but yeah, you know what I mean. It's a good win.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a step in the right direction for sure, considering there would be 4-inning blow-ups. Like in the 4th inning, he's no longer himself, and he's falling apart, and he just looks uncontrollable. His pitches are just uncontrollable. They're not locating the same way. And I think sometimes he gets irritated by poor defense and things are going ugly in the field, and then it bothers him, and then it maybe starts to get into his head a bit, and he tries to do too much, or he's just getting tired in general. Like, I think there's a lot of variables into why we see sometimes the Ranger Suarez that doesn't satisfy us. I mean, this was definitely stronger, but I still have questions long-term about him. I think in reality, we talk about Wheeler, which... that's still up in the air. Nola, he's been better this year, but he's still a little bit of like when he's on, he's on. He's had some sticky spots. That number 3, though, it's like one big cycle. And I'll stand by this. I'm not going out on a limb on a postseason type of conversation here, but Bailey Falter has been one of the most consistent pitchers as of late. It's a problem. We need to change that. We need to fix that. Is there enough time? Let's see what they do in Miami, which would be another series win, and that's where the damn bar is. And then you have a serious test. Because this Braves team just wins. And you have Toronto thrown in there. That's the measuring stick stuff. They've done well against the Braves to this point of the season. No. It's 50-50. Show me something there. Don't overlook the series, though. That could be in a dead Miami town where nobody's there. It's a weird atmosphere. Boring. Although the Phillies kind of gave you that during that last game, and that didn't change much. So, I don't know. Just something to think about, though, which is how weird of an environment it is. Everyone says that about Arizona. Well, they went to Arizona. It was so quiet. Well, it's quiet for Arizona, too. It's quiet for the Diamondbacks. I'm not going out on a limb here saying that it's packed in CBP every night. Not a lot of people there either. Just saying. All right, proud of this team. Sweep the Nationals. Very important. Continue to play well. That's what I ask of you. The September feels different. Keep the Phillies engaged. All right, don't lose sight of them because of the football team. Find a balance. That's what I ask, and I'll see you on the next one.